sure you got the same. I'm sure you got the same invite I did. Mine said smart casual. You must have only looked at one half of it.
Thank you very much. Yes, please. Okay, so give it up. It is time for our game show, and I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Have I Got Who's For You? Please welcome our two teams to join Dr. Gunther. We have Kate Harrington, Johnny Ward, and Vogue Williams. What up, guys? Anywhere in this couch. And team two, give it up for Ollie Bell, Nina Carberry, and David Brady. Okay, so because we've just made up this game, there are no actual rules to it, and you guys are going to have to decide by the quality of your laughter or heckling. Mr. Tipperary man, you're particularly welcome to shout out whenever you think something good is happening. To kick us off, we're going to talk about injuries, because obviously jockeys and some GAA people, well, mostly jockeys, are the only profession in the world that are actually followed around by an ambulance. So it's obviously very, very dangerous. Nina, do you want to kick us off? What's the worst injury you've ever had?
Bad or funny? Which one?
Either will do. Yeah.
I'll go with funny. So one day I was in Sligo and I got a fall, and I was heading to Croatia the next day on holidays with my husband Ted, and didn't I get a kick up the bum, and didn't really tell Ted, and so obviously was a bit sore, and was out on the beach the next day, and I had a lovely big hoof mark on my bum, and it was completely black, and he was like, "What's after that?" I said, "You don't want to know." So that was it wasn't very, very, very sore, but it was a bit embarrassing with a bikini on.
Always bad for timing. Okay, Kate, have you got a bad one for us?
Yeah, I had a pretty bad one. Actually in Tipperary, Templemore point to point. The last time I ventured over steeplechases, a horse jumped the fence and then fell, and then another horse came along behind me and jumped over the horse and then stood on my head.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I had 8 fractures in my face, 36 stitches around my eye.
Wow.
They were trying to send me to Clonmel Hospital, but I think there was to get stitched up. But thank God, I think my mum stepped in, and Dr. Downey gave me a shot of morphine and sent me on up to James's in Dublin to get stitched up. Thank God there was a plastic surgeon on call.
It's mad. You guys are absolutely mad.
Yeah, no, the last thing I remember when I was standing at the back of the fence was I remember there was loads of blood and I couldn't see. And the paramedic said, "Is your eye still there?" And with that, I went nuts. But the one funny bit of it, a couple of months later, there was a man came up to me and was like, "Kate, great to see you've recovered and your eye's all stitched up. You don't know me, but I was there at the back of the fence that day." And I was like, "Oh God, great, thanks so many." And he goes, "Yeah, but you owe me a bit of an apology." And I was like, "Oh, why?" So obviously when the person said, "Is your eye still there?" I went nuts. So they had to pin me down, like literally pin me down. And he was trying to get my legs down. So he was like there trying to hold my legs down. Oh, with that, I went boom, straight up in between his two legs. And he said he couldn't talk for about 10 minutes.
Okay, well, that's actually an opportune moment to bring in Ollie, because Ollie has a semi-related story. Ollie, you also have a worst injury here that's not particularly pleasant.
Well, as you know, Jer, presenting's a dangerous game, and my story and my sporting achievements in comparison to everyone on the panel here is pathetic. I think the most I've ever achieved on a sporting field, I came second in a badminton tournament when I was 12, which was pretty good. But when we were at school, we played rugby, and a guy in my year at school, Six Nations, is kicking off this weekend. He plays for Scotland, called Tim Swinston. I was in the Bs because I was rubbish. He was obviously in the As. He was a lock and huge, and I was a fly half and tiny. And one of the training drills was that he had to run at me basically every Tuesday and Thursday and trampled over me. And I got stuck at the bottom of a ruck, and he had these huge, giant feet, like Bigfoot, and he had these big, massive rugby boots on. and for some reason he decided to rake at the bottom of the ruck. I don't know the medical name for it, but or if I can say it here, but there's a banjo string, I think is the technical term. And he managed to sort of catch that. And we had white shorts at school, and they very quickly turned red, and I didn't know what was going on, but it was pretty painful.
A lot of blood.
Yeah, everything's all right now, thank God. And still a bit sore. But yeah, we're alive.
Where are you from in England?
Glastonbury.
In Glasgow. I'm just asking him where he's from, because you've the least Irish head I've ever seen. So it's just as well you're from England. And welcome to Europe, by the way.
It's nice to be here. Good to be here.
A frenulum, I think, is the correct technical, anatomically correct term.
Thank you.
David, have you any specific on-the-field injuries?
I have to apologise, because when JP rang me up and said we're doing a road to gold down in Clonmel, Tipperary, I said no hassle at all. I haven't a bloody clue about horses or horse racing, but coincidentally it was a horse that actually did it to me. It was 97. He was called the Horse Sweeney. He was from a place in Belmullet in Mayo. And I've told this story before. Man says, probably the toughest man ever I met in my life. But he hit me a headbutt and broke, put my teeth up to my gums and broke 6 of them.
They look okay now. Hey!
As the man says, they come out quicker than they go in. But and I hit him probably 4 of the best slaps ever I've hit a human being. And all he did was like, his head went left. He didn't go down. I knew I was in trouble. But
Right, well, that took a turn. Johnny?
I don't know, just when Cave was mentioning morphine there, Fran Berry had a serious fall the other night, like maybe 2 or 3 nights ago in, was it Wolverhampton or Chelmsford? And there was a lot of worry, like, in the Irish racing fraternity about, like, what had happened, and eventually, maybe 2 days later, it turned out that, like, he might have what might have been very strong spinal injuries weren't actually that bad, but as is now the want of, like, kind of sporting individuals who are in hospital, he sent a photo of himself in bed, and he goes, I don't feel too bad, I've had a bit of morphine, right? And Fran was basically like this in the photo, and you were like, God, the man must be in agony, and he was here like... He looked so happy. Like, and I was like, have you had a bit of morphine, Fran? You know, so I've had very few sporting injuries, only psychological. I remember when I was swimming when I was a kid, maybe 7 or 8 years of age, and we brought all of our clothes to the side of the swimming pool, and we left them there, and we went back to the changing area in our togs, and somebody said to me, oh, Johnny, you forgot your clothes, and so I went out back to the swimming pool, but I'd actually forgotten that I ran straight from the showers, so I ran like into a full swimming pool full of people with absolutely no clothes on, and the bus driver, I was 7 or 8 years of age, he goes to me, you know, and I used to sit at the front of the bus, he says, you know that's all over the front of the Sunday World on Sunday, and I completely believed him, and I was waiting 3 days to read the Sunday World. Psychological.
Well, that explains a lot, yeah. This couch is turning into a psychiatrist's chair for you. Bogue, your involvement in racing, you go to loads of race meets, basically.
I go to loads of race meets. I think it's such a great atmosphere to go, and it's so much fun. I don't actually do that much betting, to be honest, but I just really like being there. And I judge a lot of the best dressed, and I think it's a great day for women and men to get dressed up. I mean, everybody has their own style for the races, and I know a lot of women put so much effort into it. But with best dressed, sometimes you go down, and there's women that do it kind of professionally. They do. So you have to be careful who you choose, because they go to all the race meets and they end up winning a lot of them because the prizes can be absolutely massive. So, it's not a bad profession to be in, to be honest. Just wear something amazing and then get paid nicely for it.
Would you not do it for the crack and just give it to the worst dressed?
Well, Jared win every time.
Hey. You've got to have a look, you know. Okay, our second topic is England versus Ireland. So, Ollie, I'm going to start with you. Why are you screwing up Europe so badly?
Well, how long have we got?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately, but it's nice to be here anyway.
So, seriously, Ireland are obviously playing England this weekend in the rugby, but I think one of the things that has really gripped the Irish public sporting imagination over the last 15 years in particular is how well Ireland do at Cheltenham. And what is the perception of that in England? Because we like to think of ourselves as great lads going over and stealing the big prizes. And actually, that's kind of who we are. It is kind of who we are.
The road to gold is going to go on lots of journeys in the lead up to the Gold Cup and the Cheltenham Festival. So my answer when we get to England will be very, very different. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm thrilled for you all. And Willie Mullins, Gordon Elliott and all the Irish trained horses that have won have been fantastic. I actually genuinely do think it's really good because the level of competition now at Cheltenham, as Kate, Nina and everyone will vouch for, is so strong these days that you go to Cheltenham in the big races and Ireland and England have sort of equal chances. You've got the good horses from England, the best horses from England, the best horses from Ireland, and it makes for the best week of racing in my eyes in the year.
Is that rivalry part of why it's so successful? Because it's weird that we as a nation get behind a couple of trainers and a couple of jockeys and a couple of horses, but we do. It's not a, they're not wearing our national colours, but they are they are our representatives.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got the Presbytery Cup, which obviously is the award at the end of the week for who wins the most races between Ireland and England, which I think Ireland have won for the last few years. But it does make for such a good spectacle because throughout the season here in Ireland and in England, everything leads towards the Cheltenham Festival. From the moment the first national hunt race starts in, whenever it is, September 2018, it's all pointing towards Cheltenham in March. So having that rivalry is fantastic. I do think this year in March the Irish will dominate again because I think at the moment they've got the best trainers, jockeys and best pool of horses.
But there's an incredible battle as well. When Gordon and Willie go over there and the likes of Paul Nolan and they meet the likes of Nicky Henderson, it's who can actually drink the most in the entire week? And it's unbelievable. And they turn up at 7 or 8 in the morning and Nicky's it's unbelievable. What day is it? How do they do it? And I genuinely have no... all the flat lads are as pious as fuck. She needs... basically... I've come to the conclusion, if you want to be a proper flat trainer in Ireland, you don't drink, And if you want to be a top jumps trainer...
You have to drink.
It's unbelievable.
That's the secret. Drink loads.
Why does the Ireland-England thing matter, Kate, do you think?
I don't know. Does it maybe go back... to the days of the old revolution? It's just Ireland versus England. It's like in the rugby tomorrow. It's just we always want to beat them. We're a small nation and, we do horses unbelievably well and we can take on anyone around the world.
I think as well that the Presbytery Cup, we didn't win it very often. I would suggest that we almost never won it up to about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think we've won it the last 3 years, and it was funny, I actually did an interview during the week and he said, why don't you think any more English, I think there's only 5 English trainers coming over this weekend, and he's like, why don't you think they're coming over? And I said, well, they don't want to get whooped by the Irish before Cheltenham. They want to keep their pride until Cheltenham, and they don't mind losing their pride at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to be very dominant this year.
Sorry, Ollie, is it just Irish against English or Irish against British?
No, Britain.
It is Britain, so the Scottish and the Welsh.
Yeah.
But just a few minutes ago you said it was Ireland against England, so
I got
best
that.
of luck with Brexit again.
I got that bit wrong.
You're not the first Englishman to make the same mistake.
Fantastic to be here, as I was saying. Really enjoy it.
No bad job.
Nina, what do you feel when you're winning a race at Cheltenham? Is it just about the connections and yourself and your family and all that kind of stuff? Or do you actually feel that this is you representing Ireland in a way that it wouldn't be if it was Leopardstown or somewhere else?
Sure, everyone just aims for Cheltenham every year. It's the highlight of the season for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're from England or Ireland. It's basically what you aim for. And it's the Olympics of our sport. Everyone, it's...
Because of the country thing, though? Because the races are big. So you'll have ridden in Grand Nationals, and that's...
everyone loves to get a one-up on the English don't they? But,
Cheltenham is specific for that, isn't it?
Yeah, completely,
I don't know why that is. Is it because everybody goes over from Ireland and has a good time? We've always been going over?
We just like winning, I think, in Ireland. We like being the best at everything. And there are a few things we are really good at.
We're deeply insecure, though, as well. So we love, we can beat the English this. We're 1-3 to beat them in the rugby. It's this is great. Everything's great in Ireland.
It's a very English thing to do, to set up a competition where they're going to win it every year for 100 years and then complain when we win it 3 years in a row, though, as well. It's like the Presbytery Cup is a kind of, we'll always win that. That's, just we're awarding ourselves a trophy, no? Is that not what the point of that was?
I think, sure, it's a neighbours thing as well. It's like your closest neighbour. It'll be like Limerick, Tipperary this weekend. No, in fairness, keep your hands down if you hate Limerick.
Don't mention Tipperary, a man will get going there.
Seamus.
Nina, are you in that race that where you ride the horse and you always wear green and yellow and you go through a swamp and people's back gardens and it goes on for about 3 days?
Yes.
Are you doing that again this year?
Yes,
That's amazing, that race.
It's brilliant. You have great fun.
What's that called, where you go up mountains and through apartments?
Cross country.
Cross country.
Yeah,
I watched that one.
We're going to get your best Cheltenham memories in a couple of minutes' time. We're going to get some tips for the Gold Cup in particular. If anybody has any specific races that you want us to check into, just use our hashtag Road to Gold and you'll be in with a chance of winning some tickets to go to Cheltenham. So we'll get to those in a minute. But I do want to talk about horse ownership because it's one of the things that actually unites a couple of the people on our panels and not maybe the ones who you'd think. Johnny, you've got some stories about owning horses which we've heard bits and pieces of in the past. We'll get to those in a minute. But Gunther, did you own a horse?
Oh, I've dabbled. I don't know if there's any owners of horses in the room, is there? Jesus, more than you think. No, I did dabble. I suppose the best way into it. Nina, did you ever ride a German-bred horse in Ireland?
In Ireland, no.
No.
But I rode a winner in Germany.
In Germany, but you didn't ride a German-bred horse in Ireland.
I could have done.
Well, you don't remember. You nearly did. I owned a hoof of a horse, to carry on that analogy. And it was to run in Leopardstown at a bumper, or in a bumper. I don't know how you say it in English. But it was supposed to run in Leopardstown in a bumper, and it was backed from 7-2 into 6-4 favourite.
Okay.
I had a lot of money on that fucking horse. And what happened was a fog came in and the racing was cancelled, so you never got to ride it, and the horse was called Lavis, and you were due to ride it, and he didn't run, and then a week later he broke his leg, and I always think of you when I don't have my taxi fare home. Do you remember that horse? No?
I remember the day it was called off, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, German horse. They don't like them in Ireland. So no, but I don't know. I'm amazed there's so many owners here. I'm amazed they're still here. But yes, it's an extraordinary thing. Johnny, you'd know more about it, how much it costs through the year. I only had the horse for about 3 weeks till Nina killed it. And then I never got back into it again. How much would you spend as an average owner in Ireland?
It's mad though. If you do own the horse and he's anyway fancied, like you have to put money that you simply don't afford on him, just because if you have that piss up, you have to say like, oh, I backed him from 6 to 2 to 1. I got like John Spall, the Dublin footballer. I got friendly with him through racing and got him involved in a horse. Went to see the horse and I said, pay me whenever you can. He paid me on the Thursday. He ran on the Saturday. He was dead on the Saturday. He got 2 days out of it. And the sad thing is, he paid for the horse and 2 days fees. He probably did very well out of it.
Let's have no more dead horse stories.
That's what it was. It was, and it's the longer you're involved, the harder it actually gets because it's an expensive game.
It's a great game.
It's a great game. It's a tough game. Ownership's a tough game.
But sure, if it was easy, everyone would be doing this.
Yeah.
Well, everyone here is. Is that right, owners? Yeah, they're all at it. Loaded in Clonmel.
No, I have a few horses. I've about 4 horses in training at the moment. I kind of buy them, point them, and then sell them on. I've had a few flat ones over the years as well. But it's great. There's nothing better than a horse winning in your colours. Even I had a filly during the summer there. Bought her very cheaply in France, bought her for $3,000, Rovetta, and I leased her out and she won 2 races at the Galway Festival this summer, one on the Tuesday over hurdles and then on the Sunday on the flat. So you can't get better than that.
And sold her for 70 then on the Friday.
Yeah.
And the rest.
She ran again and then won up the Curragh and then we got her sold. She runs on Sunday actually in the Dublin Racing Festival.
The only horse I actually owned that did one was really cheap. I claimed him out of a maiden or a claimer in Sligo, and he was very, very cheap, $4,000. It was grand, we'll have a bit of fun with him. Gave him to Gavin Cromwell, and his first run was, I always wanted to have a runner during the Galway races. That was my big ambition. And this year I had a runner during the Galway races. albeit he was actually running in Wolverhampton. But at least it was during the Galway race. So I rocked up to Galway in my home course. I got into the taxi, and your man is like, "You're going racing, are you?" And I was like, "Well, I did ask you to bring me to the races." And he's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "I have one for one there in Wolverhampton." I was like, "Oh, Sabras." I was like, "Jesus, it's interesting. It's a horse I actually own." So he was 5-2, and he's a bad horse. And he was backed into
Johnny
like.
told everyone about it.
I hadn't at all. So like the trainer didn't overly fancy him. He was backed into 5-4. Went into the Ladbrokes tent in Galway. His odds just kept tumbling down. The whole place went wild for this Sabras, and he got up on the line, the worst race running, and I hadn't a penny on him. And I walked out of the Ladbrokes that day, and I was just like, this game is fucking mad. You know? And the taxi man had him backed as well.
But Jerry, I think they should celebrate the owners a little more, because when they finish the race, they go... I think there's a few in tonight. Because when they finish a race, the jockey says why the horse won or whatever, and he's always very grateful. And Aidan O'Brien, thanks to everyone, great team. And you do all that. But the owners, you never see Tracy Piggott going up to an owner unless he's going to say, "Oh, I'm going to get the ride tonight," or "Eat a swan," or some other mad shit. They just should talk to all the owners, even the really dull ones, and just say, "How do you feel after that?" And just let your man go do lally with his face on the screen in the way all these lunatics in front of us would. Wasn't that right? Yeah. So celebrate the owners in your national media, and then there'd be better horses and more scoops, and you'd be on the lash.
Perfect. Somebody in this room is actually going to be able to claim that you are part owner to 3 horses, and we're going to get to that in about 15 minutes' time. Before that, though, a couple of key things to talk about. Best Cheltenham experiences. Nina, you've had loads and loads of wins at Cheltenham. Is the first one always the best, or do you get to enjoy them a bit more after a period of time? You're like, "Oh, I should really make most of this."
So I had the first winner, and then we went to the 21 club and shifted my husband to be. So that was a good experience. And then obviously on the fringe was probably...
He'd have to say, "What's shifting?" I'll show you.
Not with those teeth.
So that was a good experience. But on the fringe was probably the best experience anyway. The second time he won at Cheltenham was brilliant.
Why? What was specifically special about that one?
Well, he came back and he was defending his crown in the Fox Hunters, and he'd done the 3 the year before, which was Cheltenham, Aintree and Punchestown, and then he came back to do it again. So it was incredible to do that.
The pressure must be more. I mean, anytime we ask jockeys, pressure's for tyres, you don't really feel pressure, you've got to ignore all that
We
stuff.
were serious on the fringe party in
Yes.
Clonmel.
In Clonmel, yeah, in Bakers. We did it, didn't we? We went there twice, so
Yeah.
it was great. We
It
had
was great.
fun.
It was a good old annual
Yeah, we
I
went to a
missed
piece
that now,
after.
too.
We missed on the fringe, yeah.
What's on the fringe? The horse. Oh, sorry. So you
On the fringe party.
back here in Clonmel.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Is that something that like the rest of the racing world doesn't know, that you do celebrate your wins? Because a lot of the time it's like the next race comes, next race, and you can't make too big a deal of it. But actually, it turns out you're all going completely mental away from the cameras.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you have to celebrate the big ones.
We were supposed to get your brother on the show today, Paul Carberry, and he was kind of humming and hawing all week because he's a couple of things on, and he texted me last night and he said, "Geez, I might be struggling for the morning." And I was like, "How many times did you actually text a trainer that?" And he goes,
Yeah.
So you do know how to celebrate. Kate, what about you? What's the standout? If you were to pick one memory from Cheltenham, what is it?
One memory I'd like to go back and relive is when Moscow Flyer regained his champion chase crown. I think the roar he got that day going into the winners' enclosure was absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think I've heard one like it since. Like, it was just I just remember looking up and there was just walls of people everywhere, and
like all the horses that Willie has had or Gordon has had, nobody had the affection in the Irish public as Moscow Flyer. Like,
explain it.
In those days, he just had this attitude about him as well, that like he just didn't care, and it was like, I'm going to jump the fence. If I get over, great. If I don't, so what? Like, the jockey might be thrown off, I'll be grand. And when he just had this total swagger about him, real character. And I remember when he retired, and there were a few people who were losing a good bit of money at Punchestown, but he came back for the last race, the festival, a charity race, and he was like 4 to 6 favourite or something, and the amount of people lumping on.
So hang on, before you do any further, and who was the jockey?
Me. I don't know, how did anyone let me on him? When I go back, I was a 17-year-old teenager who hadn't hadn't ridden in a race, had like just ridden out a few racehorses at home, wasn't really into it at all, and I was led up on this legend. And it's only now I realised that what a legend he was back in those days, and that's the one, like, I'd love to go back and do that day again, and I'd also love to redo when he regained his crown at Cheltenham.
And would the pressure, if you did go back now, not be unbearable? It's like this legend of a horse that the whole stadium was on?
The pressure would be different league. I just kind of thought, oh yeah, that's what happens. And like I got clapped clapped out of the parade ring on him, clapped to the way to the start, jumped up. We went around. Obviously, he won.
You're like, get out of the way, kid. I want to see the horse.
Yeah, literally. And it was just kind of like about 10 people deep when he came back into the parade ring afterwards. I just thought it was, yeah, this happens every day of the week. It's a hard learning curve.
Turns out it doesn't. Ollie, what's your favourite Cheltenham memory?
There have been plenty broadcasting it for ITV over the last couple of years. We've had tremendous fun there. It's obviously an amazing sporting spectacle and place to broadcast sport. But two memories that live very long in my memory. When we first broadcast racing at Cheltenham, Cheltenham was sort of 2 or 3 months into us broadcasting. So everything sort of pointed, as it does for the trainers, jockeys and owners, towards Cheltenham. We had a few new ideas to try and innovate the racing coverage, one of which was a thermal camera that would show when horses get warm or sweating. So you'd have red bits when they were warm and sweating and whatnot. But what we didn't realise when we put it to air was that you also could see what underwear the grooms were wearing. So you basically had X-ray vision for all the grooms leading them around. So that didn't last too long on the coverage, regretfully. And then the other thing was when the opening show studios by the stables, so when all the horses arrive, they come to the stables, the grooms unload the horses, the windows to our studio are tinted, so we can see out, obviously they can't see in, and this big, giant groom gets out the horse box, and we're going to air. I'm very nervous, first Cheltenham show, opening show, 9:30, Tuesday morning, day one of the festival, amazing atmosphere. I've got the producers in my ear going, are you ready? I'm going a bit nervous, but hopefully we'll be all right, touch wood. He goes, cue Ollie. So I start to camera. Obviously, I can see behind, horse boxes behind. I go, welcome to Cheltenham, excitement in the air, blah, blah, blah. I think I did a bit better than that on the day, hopefully. But your man's having a wee on the wheel of the lorry behind us. So then they go, cut to camera 3. And I'm going, shit, what am I doing? And where am I looking? Anyway, the best part of the story is that he did a schoolboy, so he pulled his trousers down to his knee, and there's loads of questions I had, but why is a grown man doing that was the first one. So that was our first ever shot at the Cheltenham Festival. It was me going, welcome, amazing place, and a guy weeing next to my ear behind me, basically. But it's the
major splashback for a week.
Yeah. Exactly.
And now here's some X-rated footage of the jockeys in other regions as well. Okay, let's move on and actually preview the Gold Cup. Johnny, where are we starting with this? We have a strong favourite at this point out, a couple of weeks to go. It's a bit early for one horse to be such a heavy favourite, is it?
Yeah, it's just like, you know, the way Liam Sheedy, like, you wouldn't let your sub-goalkeeper talk to the media there lately. I think Pat Kelly's from that kind of line of work. It's just like, there won't be any media at all, like, you know, no talking whatsoever to the media. He's trained by an unbelievably enigmatic man. Racing UK, Tom Stanley got on to me from Nick Luck show, and he goes, can you get Pat Kelly's number, because I want to talk to him. I was like, jeez, this is going to be tough. Like, this man is so odd, it's unbelievable. Yet he really can train. And it's just like, I remember he had a bit of an issue with Derek O'Connor. For some reason, he wanted Derek to ride a horse of his in a point-to-point a few years ago, and I think Derek committed to riding it, and then he wouldn't do the weight. And when he wanted Maldini to run in the Kim Muir, which would have been last year, I think, Derek was available. And somehow I got through to Pat Kelly, because I think Pat Kelly knew that I was on to the handicapper about the weights, and I might get some word on the weights. And he also was asking me, like, what weight, whatever about Maldini, what weight will Presenting Percy get in the per temps, whatever. But I was texting Pat anyway, and then I remember one Sunday at Naas, not long before Cheltenham, I was kind of humming and on, what riders available, this or that, and I was like, you're mad not to consider Derek O'Connor, like, and he goes, he more or less texts me back, and I never met the man at that stage, and he goes, if you ever mention Derek O'Connor in a text message to me again, I'll fucking kill you. And I was just like, right. Anyway, he trains a Gold Cup favourite, and you're just like your job will be so complex if he actually wins, because this man will run a mile.
There's a great shot from the other day when Presenting Percy won over hurdles, and everyone knows that he's very difficult to get hold of. But the cameras were in the winner's enclosure, and Johnny very politely tries to grab a word, and he literally just turns his back straight to Johnny.
So it was a tough job as a journalist, because you wanted to. You don't want to do a job on like Sam Allardyce where you set him up as a stitch. This isn't an interview, so it's like I kind of had my phone like kind of half in my hand but not fully in my hand, so it's kind of like, like this, like kind of I am interviewing you but I amn't, and he's kind of like
just turns away,
scowl on me, just kind of mumble like something you're a and that was it. And I was like, and then I left the race course and I said, well done today, and he's like, thanks Johnny, thanks. And I was like, you could have done that when I was on TV, but it's just an amazing story, because you've this like backwater of racing in County Galway that has a Gold Cup favourite, and I think you'll take a hell of a lot of beating.
Okay, so what do you make of the Gold Cup, Nina? What do you think is going to happen?
Presenting Percy, I think, is going to be very hard to beat. He does everything very easy. As you seen the other day, he beat a big squad of Grade 1 winners and made mincemeat of them first time out over 3 mile. I think it's an incredible performance from him, and he's basically only going to be primed for one day, and that's going to be the Gold Cup day. Kate obviously has a word on Sides and John, how he's going. Native River went there last year under one run and had a win, and he went and won the Gold Cup, so it can be done.
Yeah. He's not unbeatable though, Presenting Percy, is he?
No, I definitely think he's beatable. I actually think one horse that we'll talk about Sides and John in a second, but one horse was very impressed with, I was in Tramore in the day, was Alboom Photo. I'm really looking forward to seeing him run on Sunday. His form was franked with invitation only, winning the Thyestes, and I think when Total Recall made a very bad mistake in the Kinloch Bray, he definitely wasn't done with that day, and I think he could have gone very, very close. So I think Alboom Photo, if he puts in a big run at the weekend, his prices are going to be cut dramatically.
Okay.
The funny thing about Presenting Percy is he just doesn't make mistakes in his races. I can't remember him making one proper mistake in a chase, and it's just like he knows exactly what he has to do, and you can't see him just, if he doesn't win, he'll be very, very close.
He's also won and improved year on year in the last 3 years at Cheltenham, and keeps winning, gets better. Yeah, it's just he's just a perfect horse, really. For Philip Reynolds to have so few horses and to have fallen on him is unbelievable. What's the story with Sides and John?
He's good. He's working away, and his wind up seems to have worked. Couldn't be happier with him. We just need rain. Like, we need to get in a good racecourse gallop. We just don't want to risk him. Like, I know the ground is good, and people are like, oh, but he's won on good ground, why aren't you going to go school him on it? But he's heavier when he's running on good ground. It's at the end of the season, he's that bit lighter, but he's heavier than we want him to, and we're not going to run the risk of jumping him off good or on good ground. And it's not like we had a wet summer, we had a dry summer, it's very hard underneath,
yeah.
And they're just taking the top bit off him. We're not risking it. Everything has been aimed to Cheltenham, and Mum will have him spot on for the day.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I do a lot of Cheltenham previews in the lead up to the festival, and the good thing about the Road to Gold and being here tonight is I guarantee that I've got 5 winners already at the festival this year, one of which is in the Gold Cup, so that's good. So all of you lucky ladies and gentlemen here, you'll go home and you can start planning your holidays in April, because I've got loads of winners coming away in a moment. But with the Gold Cup, the stories this year are phenomenal, because you've got Frodon in there, who's going to be ridden by Bryony Frost. That would be unbelievable if that horse wins. I'm not convinced he'll stay. Obviously, Sizing John is hoping to emulate Corto Star, who was the first horse to regain a Gold Cup crown. Presenting Percy, the trainer, the owner that Johnny touched on. And then you've got Native River, the defending champion. Thistlecrack, could he come back and win a Gold Cup? That would be remarkable. So this year's Gold Cup is full of quality, and it's got great stories throughout as well. So it's a fascinating contest. I would love to see Thistlecrack win it. I have a real soft spot for that horse. Of course, he is a former festival winner in his own right. But I do think that Presenting Percy is probably the best horse in the race and deserves to be favourite. But it is going to be the most amazing Gold Cup, I'm sure of it.
Pardon my ignorance, but how often does the favourite actually win the Gold Cup? Because it seems like it's not that often.
In fairness, like favourites generally do run well in it. Like it's not actually the worst race to bet in, but the Bryony frosting here just reminded me of the difference in England and Ireland in terms of the love-in, like with individuals or horses. Like the Bryony frosting in England is just so, like they absolutely love her. And this is a country where recently they named a race after the new one. And like they named a race after the new one, a horse, and they fined a trainer for waving at a horse at the start. And I was just like, what are you doing over there in England? It's just like, we're looking here in Ireland, we're like, I remember Ted Walsh was one day, was it Dino's Beano, the horse that wouldn't go around Cheltenham, and, you know, Ted was at somehow, I don't know, he's at a launch of a bookie shop or something, and he was like, what do you make of the band that McCoy got for Dino's Beano? And Ted was like, you know, geez, if he was racing in Ireland, you'd light a fire under him when you get him going, like, you know. But like, you're gone mad over there. You give a trainer a fine for waving at a horse at the start. Waving at him. Yeah. Like, we give them shock treatment at the start to get them going.
It's an awful country. No, I'm delighted to be here, Johnny.
I know. But, like, does the BHA look an absolute laughing stock?
Johnny, I don't work for the BHA, so I can't help you.
You're representing England tonight.
You're getting off Great Britain.
To answer your question, Ger, 7 of the last 15 years, 7 favourites in the last 15 runs of the Gold Cup. So that's almost 50%, or else I just made that up because I haven't said anything for ages.
Okay, we're going to get your tips. Well, from the racing experts, unless everybody else, you have any tips for Cheltenham for us that you want to...
Well, wear a lovely outfit. And I'm thinking presenting Percy might do quite well from this conversation.
All the P's.
Yeah.
We did this
Don't even...
Okay,
sorry, this is a funny story that happened yesterday. That was quite embarrassing for me.
Can I say it?
Yeah, come on, you got to get it out now.
Sorry. So we were filming at the Bulmers factory. Derek's
such
here.
A dick. You wouldn't do this on camera yesterday. You just waited for a
Do you mind?
Go on, no, do it.
Too late now.
Sorry, we have to work together for the next 3 weeks, so she'll probably refuse after this. Derek, where's Derek? Is he in the audience? Hey, how are you, Derek? How are you? So we were filming with Derek, and we asked Derek for his tips. He works at the factory down the road, and he goes, I've got my 2 already, all the P's, presenting Percy and Paisley Park. And he goes into and Vogue goes, all the P's, yeah, I'll back that, that's a nice name. And we, and bless him, Derek, the politest man I've ever met in my life, just looked at me and went, oh, I'm not going to tell her, am I? I'll let her search odds checker for all the P's. But anyway.
But Ollie obviously did.
When we own a horse, Vogue and I, if we own a horse together, because there's lots of owners in the room, as we know, we will call it all the P's. We'll call it all the P's.
Someone can have that name if you want. I thought it was a good name.
Don't give it away. You've got to trademark that. Nina, give us a winner.
I'm a big Presenting Percy fan, and I like the bumper horse that won in Down Royal for JP the other night, or the other day, Andy Dufresne.
Oh, yeah.
I think if he goes to the bumper in Cheltenham, I think he'd be very hard beat.
The GAA's favourite movie, that's anytime a GAA player's asked for his favourite movie, it's always Shawshank Redemption.
It's the same in all the League of Ireland play, all the footballers.
It's a safe answer. Yeah. No one gives out to you for it, even though, you know, it's a bit cliched at this stage. Ollie, give us, you promised loads of winners.
Pens at the ready. Albert Bartlett, carefully selected, who finished 3rd in the bumper last year. He's around about 16-1 at the moment.
He hasn't run yet.
It doesn't matter. He's 16-1 and he will win the Albert Bartlett.
That's insane. The horse hasn't actually run in February.
So when this wins the Albert Bartlett,
it's Willie Mullins.
That is absolutely
Willie
insane.
Mullins. He did it with Quavega.
He
can
won
do it with
a
Albert.
point. He can jump.
They're waiting for ground with him, I think. They're going to give him one.
It's 6 weeks for Cheltenham. He hasn't run at all this season. He hasn't run over hurdles at all.
So you think 16-1 is too low?
Just put your money on Mayo for Sam.
Same result, you get nothing back.
Pass it around.
The other one, what you'll do is you'll back Sealouse Emery in the Arkle, then you'll have money to back carefully selected in the Albert Bartlett. So those 2. And Angel's Breath in the first race. The Supreme, I think, is a very talented horse. He's actually running over 2.5 at Huntingdon this week, which is a bit of a worry in case they go to the Ballymore or the Supreme. But I think Angel's Breath will be very hard to beat and get one on the board for England in the first race, and then you can win the...
So maybe wait until after this weekend to back him, or back him now and take the risk? Or try to find non-runner, no bet?
There are a few firms that go non-runner, no bet, so probably if you can get on with him. But those are the 3, and carefully selected will definitely win the Albert Bartlett later.
Right, definitely.
100%. Sorry?
I'm going to pose that I have the winner for the Albert Bartlett. To add to your piece, press conference has 4 McCarthy selected, finished second to him, first time out last year in a winner's bumper, and he won very impressively at Limerick at Christmas. And he also doesn't run this weekend because of ground, but owned by a good Clonmel man as well.
So I like this. There's a market developing.
Another P to add.
Do you have anything else for us that we should be at this stage?
Oh, of course, sizing John, you know.
Yeah. All right.
He's a good big price at the moment, and if Mum ever wants, she will have him 110% on the day. There'll be no ifs and buts about anything.
Okay, I like that. So all you got to do is deliver it in confidence. You guys go away and put your money on it, and then forget the fact where you got it in the first place. Like, where did I get that bet again? Right, that's our tip section of the evening. It's time to send somebody to the ownership group. It's time for our competition. Smash Hits, the band are warming up in the wings, so they're going to be entertaining you. And then after that, there's going to be a DJ set, so you can have a great night out for the rest of the night as well. Somebody in the audience is about to win an incredible prize. We've got a syndicate slot up for grabs. This gives you a share in 3 jumps horses, tickets to each day of the Cheltenham Festival, a share of the prize money if your horse wins and doesn't die, some stable visits, regular updates from the trainers, and much more besides. 2 of you are going to go head to head. If you don't mind, please check under your seats right now. If you find an envelope taped underneath, then you're going to be one of the contestants to come up and join us here. So, now get right in there. Get right in there. Come on. Check the ones beside you if they're empty. Come on. So, do we have anybody with an envelope under their seats? Do we have one? Do we? Is that a yes? Stand up, sir. We have 2. 1, 2. All right, come on up. Is it? Come on up. Come on up. Come on. All right. It is. All right, lads, come on up. Come on. No chatting. Come on. Step up. Come on. Don't trip over the wires. There's no insurance. How are you doing, Mr. Tipperary? How are you?
How's it going?
What's your name?
Barney.
Barney. Give us now a mic there. Can I have the... I'll take this, thank you. Yeah. Barney, how are you doing? Where are you from?
Thurles.
Come on, the answer is Tipperary.
Tipperary.
Yay! Barney from Thurles, how are you doing? Sir, what's your name?
Billy.
Oh, shit. Barney and Billy.
The 2 B's.
Where are you from, Billy?
Clonmel.
Clonmel. Okay, so it's Clonmel versus Thurles. There's no rivalry there, is there?
None.
There must be, right?
No. Football. Hurling.
Thurles. He's from Thurles.
No, he's Clonmel.
Oh, he's Clonmel. Good point. Okay, so you're the hurling. Okay, I get it now. Billy and Barney. How the hell am I going to remember this? I can't remember names at the best of times. Okay.
It's like this one of the 2 P's, isn't it?
3. All the P's. Right, let's go. Okay. So, the way this works is we've got 3 rounds that will test your horse racing knowledge and your ability to dress as a jockey. Oh, Jesus is right. The rules are quite simple. I'm going to read out a list of horse names. All you have to do is tell us if these are the names of real horses. It's pony or phony. Did you get it? Did you get it? No. Blank stares. One of the names is going to be a real horse's name. That's a pony. And one of them is going to be a fake name. That's a phony. Pony or phony. Right? You're going to get a point for each correct answer. We're going to start with contestant number 1 from Clonmel. Here are your 5 horses. But are they pony or phony? Number 1, Horsey McHorseface.
Phony.
It's a pony. It's in training in Australia, so far none. Second one is Brangelina.
Brangelina. Phony.
Correct. It's a 3-year-old American horse trained by the excellently named Danny Pish.
Oh, that guy.
That guy, yeah. Number 3, a horse of a horse.
Phony.
Correct, it is a phony. There's no such horse. You can have that one too. Number 4, that's what she said. Pony or phony?
Phony.
Correct, 6-year-old that races in America. And number 5 is get your legs over. Pony or phony?
Definitely a pony.
It's a phony! What have we got? 4 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Our scorekeeper from Stokes Kennedy Crowley, who has one job tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sue Murphy! All right. So from Thurles, are you a Thurles Sarsfields man? Did you get kicked out for something? Is there a backstory? Killing all?
That's all right. I'm going out to Cheltenham now.
What?
I'm going out to Cheltenham now.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, like break up with a band, is it?
No.
A bit of controversy in the backroom team.
Correct.
Hey! Oh, shite. Don't. Okay, well, I'm sorry for your trouble. Pony or phony? Is it in good?
Pony.
Correct. Owned by Mike Pegram, who is apparently renowned for his vulgar names, including hoof-hearted, as in, you know, hey, not you. Number 2, stubbornly droopy. Pony or phony?
Pony.
Phony! Incorrect. Did you get that, Sue? Incorrect. Number 3, bodacious tatas. Pony or phony?
Pony.
Correct. Raced in in the US in the 1980s. Number 4, Sir Jumps a Lot. Phony or pony?
Pony.
Phony! Incorrect. No, it's phony. Sir Jumps a Lot. So that's what it says here. It's called Sir Jumps a Lot. Number 5 is Why Kick a Moo Cow? Pony or phony?
Pony.
Pony is correct. Named after an area of New Zealand which is called Waikikamuko. So, there you go. Correct. So, what have we got? We got 3 as well. It's tied at 3 apiece. So, Barney and Bill tied together in a celebrity death match from Clonmel versus Thurles. Okay, so round 2 is the Silks Challenge. We thought this through, right? So obviously Kate and Nina know exactly all about changing in and out of the different silks between races and having to do it very quickly. We're going to see how quickly and neatly you two can do the same. You're going to have 10 seconds, and then Vogue gets the final say on who is the best dressed. You get 3 points for the winner, and the loser gets nothing. No, don't start. We're going to have a 10-second countdown, which is going to be on the clock. And somebody's... Have we got the clock on? Where? Okay. So, on your marks. On your marks. Get set, go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, Vogue, who is the winner?
Okay, let me have a look.
Who wears the best turnaround and let the fox see the rabbit?
Well, you both look great. Your jumper's on back to front. I think your hat's on inside out. So, you both look shite. I'd say the best is probably you.
Curtis wins. So that's a 3-point lead. This is only round 2. We've still got round 3 to go.
Oh, fuck. I thought again.
Okay, so the final round is a picture round. It's really quite simple and straightforward, but you both get to nominate somebody to help you from your team. You can pick somebody from Team 1. Who do you want to pick? It's to identify a horse.
Nina.
Okay, so Nina's going to be your help. And so, Mr. Clonmel, you get to pick somebody from Team 2. Who are you going to pick?
From this group?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny.
Okay.
God.
So...
I was listening to him Gordon the other day.
Yeah, not bad. So this is Name That Horse. We're going to walk over here and you can have a look at this big screen here. We're going to reveal a horse in 6 pictures. You can stop there. We're going to reveal a horse in 6 pictures. You get 6 points if you get it on the first one, and so on and so forth until we go down. We're going to give you 1 clue. Could we have picture 1, please?
You're here, yeah.
Picture 1, please, is the leg of a horse.
I have it here.
Okay, so this horse was an Irish-bred, English-trained gelding. Can you identify it from the picture of its fetlock?
Irish which?
Irish-bred, English-trained gelding. What happens if
We
they...
need another one. We give
you the second one for 5 points. And the second picture, he never fell at a fence or a hurdle in a race.
Best mate.
Woohoo!
Hey.
5 points! Holy shit. Oh, back in the game. Wow, that was pretty good. Okay, so.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can watch it there, or that's the whole of Best Mate. So you can walk over here and see the second one. So, for 6 points, name that horse. This over here. The answer, the first clue is he was foaled in 1998. Kind of need this to get back in the game.
I'm pretty sure it's Faheen.
Is that your guess? Is that
1998.
98,
I'm thinking
yeah.
2008. No, sorry.
Final answer?
Yeah. You can give it another go.
One more. For 5 points, he has 6 grade 1s to his name.
20 now. Old in 1998.
Yeah.
And 6.
Yeah, 6 grade 1s. Yeah. All the keys.
More than that. You'd have more than that.
Need an answer. There's no 50-50 and there's no phone a friend. Time is up. Come on.
A tough one.
Give me nothing. What? Nothing. Not even a guess. The name of any horse.
What was it?
Nothing.
It's probably been out 20, so it's what we go for.
Okay. Do we have it? No, we've no sound effects, but you've no answer. I think this is it. What are the scores? So what are the totals there? No, we got 9. The answer is Kicking King. But it doesn't matter because you've lost. This is our winner, ladies and gentlemen. That makes up for the row with Thurles Sarsfields. Congratulations, you've won a share in 3 Jumps horses, tickets to each day of the Cheltenham Festival, a share prize money, stable visits, regular updates from the trainers and much more besides. This is actually a brilliant prize. Congratulations. How do you feel? Ask the owners, how do they feel?
Just to say, Joe, we had a steward's inquiry. Billy said that he backs Jumps a lot. He's lost on him many times, and just to say it's true and false. It's not an actual horse, it's in the cartoon racing. So he did lose a lot of money on him, but he's still not a real horse. Just to clear that up. You did back him.
On that note, our social winners tonight, who are people in the room. Mikey O'Donnell, are you here? Yeah, good man, Mikey. Linda Harney, Claire O'Sullivan, Kieran Neary and Mark Murray. Just make yourselves known to our production team over here. We've got tickets for the Cheltenham Festival for you. All of which brings us to the end of the show. You've been a lovely audience. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give it up for Johnny Ward, Vogue Williams, Nina Carberry, Kate Harrington, David Brady, Ollie Bell, Barry Murphy. Everybody here at the Clonmel Park Hotel. To Bulmers and their Road to Gold, and to you, our beautiful audience. You've got a couple of minutes to get a few scoops, and then Smash Hits will entertain you into the wee hours. Good night, good luck, thanks a million. Woo!